William Holman Hunt, April 2, 1827, September 7, 1910, was an English painter and one of the founders of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. His paintings were notable for their great attention to detail, vivid color, and elaborate symbolism. These features were influenced by the writings of John Ruskin and Thomas Carlyle, according to whom the world itself should be read as a system of visual signs. For Hunt it was the duty of the artist to reveal the correspondence between sign and fact. Of all the members of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, Hunt remained most true to their ideals throughout his career. He was always keen to maximize the popular appeal and public visibility of his works. William Holman Hunt changed his middle name from Holman to Holman when he discovered that a clerk had misspelled the name after his baptism at the Church of St. Mary the Virgin, Ewell. After eventually entering the Royal Academy Art Schools, having initially been rejected, Hunt rebelled against the influence of its founder Sir Joshua Reynolds. He formed the Pre-Raphaelite movement in 1848, after meeting the poet and artist Dante Gabriel Rossetti. Along with John Everett Mills, they sought to revitalize art by emphasizing the detailed observation of the natural world in a spirit of quasi-religious devotion to truth. This religious approach was influenced by the spiritual qualities of medieval art, in opposition to the alleged rationalism of the Renaissance embodied by Raphael. He had many pupils including Robert Braithwaite Martineau. Hunt married twice. After a failed engagement to his model Annie Miller, he married Fanny Waugh, who later modeled for the figure of Isabella. When she died in childbirth in Italy, he sculpted her tomb at Vesoul, having it brought down to the English cemetery, beside the tomb of Elizabeth Barrett Browning. He had a close connection with St. Mark's Church in Florence, and paid for a communion chalice inscribed in the memory of his wife. His second wife, Edith, was Fanny's sister. At this time it was illegal in Britain to marry one's deceased wife's sister, so Hunt was forced to travel abroad to marry her. This led to a serious breach with other family members, notably his former Pre-Raphaelite colleague Thomas Woolner, who had once been in love with Fanny and had married Alice, the third sister of Fanny and Edith. Hunt's works were not initially successful, and were widely attacked in the art press for their alleged clumsiness and ugliness. He achieved some early note for his intensely naturalistic scenes of modern rural and urban life, such as The Hireling Shepherd and The Awakening Conscience. However, it was with his religious paintings that he became famous, initially The Light of the World, 1851 to 1853, now in the chapel at Keble College, Oxford, a later version, 1900, toured the world and now has its home in St. Paul's Cathedral. In the mid-1850s Hunt traveled to the Holy Land in search of accurate topographical and ethnographical material for further religious works, and to use my powers to make more tangible Jesus Christ's history and teaching. There he painted the scapegoat, the finding of the Savior in the temple and the shadow of death, along with many landscapes of the region. Hunt also painted many works based on poems, such as Isabella and the Lady of Shalott. He eventually built his own house in Jerusalem. He eventually had to give up painting because failing eyesight meant that he could not get the level of quality that he wanted. His last major works, a large version of The Light of the World, were completed with the help of his assistant Edward Robert Hughes. Hunt died on September 7, 1910 and was buried in St. Paul's Cathedral.